Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? I hope you would be fine. I'm here with a new chapter, new story. As you can see on your screens, The War of Children. This is chapter number 9 of your textbook. So let's start. It's very interesting story about a mystery. It's basically a mysterious story. So let's begin with the words meaning given over here in the box. Flee means to run away. Hideous, extremely ugly or unpleasant. Liar. It's not liar, it's lair, right? Liar is liar. Someone who speaks lie, who tells a lie. And it's lair. Lair. Lair is a wild animal's resting place. For example, the lion's lair or the wolf lair, where they live. It's the resting place for the wild animals. Mound is a raised mass of earth specially created for purposes of defense or burial. So you can say it's a steep or a hill or something like that. That is a mass from the surface of the earth. It is above from the surface of the earth, and it is especially created for purposes of defense or burial, right? To hide. Superstition is excessive belief in the supernatural magical effects of a particular action. Superstition means something of a kind that is not acceptable for people to believe. So it's excessive belief in the supernatural magical effects of a particular action. That something happening is beyond the strength of humans. Okay? Something supernatural. Right? So that is called superstition. Now let's start the reading part of the story. And in the middle of the story, if we'll go through any difficult word, I'll tell you the meaning there only. 6 men sat on a wooden hunting platform. The platform had been hastily built during the heat of the day. Now in the gathering twilight, the men knew that their long wait would soon be over. Platform means floor. Twilight means half light, evening, the time at which after dusk, and where the sunlight has come to an end, and it's the beginning of the night, right? That is called twilight, when the light is half. So as you can see in the picture, there are 6 men who are sitting on a platform which was hastily built, which was quickly built. In a hurry, it was built so as to rest over here and search for the some different creatures that were non-human. ठीक है, तो 6 आदमी बैठ गए लकड़ी के एक ऐसे तख्ते पर जो बड़ी जल्दी में दोपहर में बनाया गया था. और यहाँ पर वो क्यों बनाया था इन्होंने? एज यू कैन सी द मून इन द स्काई. तो टॉयलाइट के अंदर वो कुछ सर्च करने के लिए आए थे छुप कर. ठीक है, लेट्स फाइंड आउट व्हाट वाज दैट. Below them, some 30 meters away, stood a giant anthill. It was on this that the man's attention was focused. One of the men licked his lips nervously. The anthill he knew had long ago been abandoned by ants. Now it was simply a hollow shell-like cave. Inside it there lived jungle demons. So they are just giving us the overview. Why were they waiting over this platform? They were actually in search of an anthill that was 30 meters away from them. This was the distance where they were searching for something. And one of the men licked his lips nervously, because when we are nervous, sometimes what happens that our mouth gets open and the saliva starts to come out of our mouth. So in nervousness, one of the men licked his lips. And what happened next, that basically the anthill they were looking at was abandoned by ants long ago. It means that from a long time no ants were seen in that anthill. But now it was a simply hollow. Hollow means empty, shell-like cave. It was just like a cave now. No more any anthill. And inside it there lived jungle demons. This was the mystery they were here to solve. This was basically a myth that was created by the people living there, that inside that anthill some demons are now living. Abandoned means left. Holo means empty. Demon is devil or evil spirit, some badruh or shaitan or something evil nature. تو یہاں پر ہمیں یہ بتانے کی کوشش کر رہے ہیں کہ 6 لوگ آئے تھے ولیج سے اور وہ ویٹ کر رہے تھے ایک اینٹ ہل کے باہر اور تھوڑی سی دور اس فاصلے پر تھے وہاں سے جہاں پر بہت پہلے چونٹیاں ہوا کرتی تھیں لیکن کافی دراز سے وہ خالی پڑا تھا اور اب وہاں پر کچھ عجیب و غریب قسم کی مخلوقات پائی جا رہی تھیں تو اسی کے بارے میں پتہ لگانے کے لیے یہ لوگ یہاں جمع ہوئے تھے. Sunset was time for the demons to appear. It was October 9th, 1920. Everyone in the village knew about the jungle demons. They had heard their howls and their strange yelping cries. Several people had actually seen the demons. They were in appearance half human, half animal. The superstitious would no longer venture into the forest for fear of them. تو کیا تھا یہ سنسٹ کا ٹائم تھا جس وقت ڈیمنز وہاں سے نکلتے تھے اپیئر ہوتے تھے مطلب وہ نظر آتے تھے اور یہ آج کی تاریخ بتا رہے ہیں کہ آج جو ہے وہ 9 اکتوبر 1920 کا دن تھا اور ہر ایک ولیج کے اندر جانتا تھا ان جنگل ڈیمنز کے بارے میں جس کو یہ سرچ کرنے کے لیے آئے تھے. ان کی عجیب و غریب سی آوازیں چیخنے کی اور بارکنگ کی یہ لوگ سنتے رہتے تھے اور کچھ لوگوں نے تو حقیقت میں ان ڈیمنز کو دیکھا بھی تھا یہاں سے نکلتے ہوئے اور ان کا اپیئرنس ایسے بتاتے تھے کہ وہ دکھنے میں آدھے انسان اور آدھے جانور کی طرح ہیں. تو حالت یہ تھی کہ اب جو ہے وہ ان کے خوف کی وجہ سے کوئی اور مخلوقات وہاں پر مزید نظر نہیں آتی تھی. ٹھیک ہے. The forest was bathed in a deep red glow from the setting sun. سورج جب غروب ہو جاتا ہے اس کے بعد آسمان ریڈش سا ہو جاتا ہے تو اس وقت بھی کیونکہ سورج جسٹ غروب ہوا تھا ڈسک ٹائم تھا شام ڈھلی تھی تو ایسا لگ رہا تھا کہ آسمان لال رنگ میں نہایا ہوا ہے. The first of the large fruit bats flew past at the waiting men. From these people, from above of them, some of the bats flapped past at them. Suddenly there was a movement in the narrow entrance of the anthill. Now the time has come for which they were waiting for. The men on the platform stiffened. One of them drew in his breath sharply while another tightened his grip on the stock of his rifle. تو اچانک کیا ہوا کہ اس اینٹ ہل میں سے کچھ عجیب و غریب سی حرکت محسوس ہوئی. ٹھیک ہے. جو اس کی انٹرنس تھی جہاں سے آنا جانا تھا جو اس کا منہ کھلا ہوا تھا تو وہاں پر تو جو لوگ یہاں پر بیٹھے ہوئے تھے وہ بالکل اپنی جگہ پر اسٹف ہو گئے ساکت ہو گئے اور ان میں سے ایک نے اپنی زور سے سانس کھینچی اور دوسرے نے اپنی رائفل کے اوپر اپنی جو ہے وہ مضبوطی سے اور جما دی اور مطلب مضبوطی سے اس کو پکڑ لیا. Here we have few more word meanings. Yelping means screaming, barking. ٹھیک ہے. جو عجیب و غریب سی آوازیں ہوتی ہیں بارکنگ کی اور جو ہے وہ چیخنے چلانے کی اینیملز کی جو آوازیں ہوتی ہیں اس کو ہم کہتے ہیں یلپنگ. Superstitious means unprovable false belief. ایسی چیزیں جو کیا نام ہے جن کے بارے میں یقین ہمیں نہ ہو جو جھوٹی باتیں مشہور ہو جاتی ہیں افواہیں ان کو کہا جاتا ہے. Venture means advance, proceed. وینچر کس کو کہتے ہیں کسی چیز میں آگے بڑھنا آگے کی طرف جانا. Flapped, vibrated. پروں کو جو جھاڑتے ہوئے جاتے ہیں نا پروں کو اوپر نیچے لہراتے ہوئے اس کو کہتے ہیں فلیپ. Stiffened means become solid, harden, thicken. کسی چیز کا سخت ہو جانا فرم ہو جانا. Stock of rifle. Back portion of a rifle for support. Stock of rifle is basically the back part of a rifle on which sometimes it is stored. As you can see in the picture, this part of the rifle is basically the stock. Let's see what happened next. Something was coming out of the anthill. Something was emerging out. Something was coming out of it. As you can see over here, this was the entrance of that anthill and something was coming out of it. It was a fully grown wolf. It was a fully grown wolf. Behind it came a second wolf and then two small cubs, right? There were two grown-up wolves and two of their children that are cubs. Cubs are basically the animals of wild animals, right? So they are the children of wild animals. Then something else emerged, something else come out of it. It was a demon, just as the villagers had said, half human and half animal. So basically 5 to 6 creatures come out of this anthill. 2 grown-up wolves and 2 of their cubs, 4, and then something half human and half animal, and that was basically the demon, as people used to call them. The demon was followed by a second monster much smaller than the first. So first one was a bit bigger and the other one was smaller, but both of them were demons, and both of the creatures had matted hair which covered their faces, and both walked on all fours. They looked around cautiously before bounding after the wolves. So you see, just after the wolves, they were coming on their fours. That is, their hands were also on the floor as the animals used to walk, or it was not like humans. So they were coming on their all fours, and they looked around, and then they started to follow the wolves. The 6 men reacted in different ways. All of them reacted in different ways. Their reactions were different. 2 aimed their rifles at these strange creatures. 2 just put their rifles straight to the demons, and 1 quickly signaled them not to shoot. The third one, that is after the 2, the third one signaled them. He said them that you do not have to shoot. Then he began to write in his notebook. This was the third man who started to write something in his notebook. He was carrying a notebook along with him. One man, too frightened to look, buried his face in his hands. The fourth one just hid his face with his hands. He didn't want to see anything around him. The rest started in disbelief. The 2 left ones stared in disbelief. They were looking fixedly in disbelief. They were not believing what they were watching. So the stories were true. They had seen the monsters for themselves. So now they come to know that whatever they heard as yet was true. ठीक है? We have few more word meanings. Emerge means come out, to appear. Matted means tangled, disordered, something in a very disordered manner. Aimed, to focus, to plan for something. Strange is something unusual or unknown. Here it's unusual. तो जी हुआ क्या, 2 भेड़िए निकले, उसके बाद 2 उनके बच्चे निकले, और उसके बाद 2 डेमन्स भी निकल आए. ठीक है, तो जब ये डेमन्स निकले तो उन्होंने भी इधर उधर देखा. उनके बाल जो थे वो बिखरे हुए थे अजीबो गरीब से. वो हाफ ह्यूमन हाफ एनिमल थे. चारों अपने पांव पर चल रहे थे. इधर उधर देखा और वुल्व्स के पीछे चले गए. जो 6 लोग वहां पर आए हुए थे सर्च करने के लिए, फाइंड करने के लिए कि रियलिटी क्या है, तो उन सब ने अलग अलग तरीके से रिएक्ट किया, अलग अलग तरीके से अपना रिएक्शन शो किया. 2 ने तो राइफल तान ली, गन उनकी तरफ तान ली. तीसरे वाले ने कहा कि नहीं नहीं, इनको शूट हरगिज मत करना. और उसके बाद फिर वो अपनी डायरी में कुछ लिखने लग गया. एक ने अपने चेहरे को अपने छुपा लिया अपने हाथों से, और बाकी जो थे दोनों वो अजीबो गरीब तरीके से घूरने लगे. ठीक है, और इस दफा इन लोगों ने मॉन्स्टर्स को देख लिया था. The man with the notebook was Mr. Singh. He had listened to the tales and chatter about demons and had been determined to prove that the stories were nonsense. He was the only man who believed that these were no demons. They were actually humans, and he determined that he decided to prove it that they were not demons but humans. Even so, it had taken a good deal of persuasion to find men who would take him to the demon's lair and wait with him while he observed them for himself. इसके बावजूद उसने जो है वो इस बात में काफी टाइम लग गया लोगों को परसुएट करने में, मोटिवेट करने में कि वो वहां पर उसके साथ चलें और वो खुद ऑब्जर्व करें. Back at the village, Mr. Singh ignored the excited talk of his 5 companions and read through the notes he had scribbled at the time. So what was he writing? Whatever he wrote, he just focused on that, and he left what the other 5 men who were along with them were saying in the village. When they came back, the creatures were hideous beings he had written. Both of them ran on all fours. This was basically something he wrote at the time when the demons appeared from the entrance. So now he is describing the creatures, that how they actually looked like. The creatures were hideous beings. They were hideous beings means somewhat something of monstrous nature, something looking terrible, something of not the normal creatures. Both of them ran on all fours. That is, they were running on their all fours, on foot and hands both. Of one, he had put hand, foot and body like a human being, but the head was a big ball of something covering the shoulders. As you can see in the picture also, that their body is like humans, but their head is covered with all hair all around it. So he was convinced, however, that the creatures were not demons. What he felt sure he had seen were two children about 4 or 5 years old. So basically, what was the conclusion he made? He concluded that they were actually two creatures of human beings. They were none else but the children of 4 to 5 years. They were not demons at all. He was convinced. He was believing in such that they were humans. So let's discuss some of the word meanings over here. Strange, something unusual, unknown. Persuasion means brainwashing, to motivate someone. Lair is the den or a cave. Scribbled means to write hurriedly. Write something in a very hurry manner. Hideous beings, monstrous, terrible. Convinced, assured, satisfied, to believe something firmly. Rescue means to save something from danger. Seek, to look for, to search for something. Now come to page number 93. From the way the children had moved, Mr. Singh believed that they had been living with the wolves for a long time. He had no doubt about what he should do next. He must rescue them. He didn't even consider leaving them to go on living as wild animals. So now he had firm belief that they were humans, they were children, and then they decided that he will not leave them there living with the wild animals. He has no doubt that he has to rescue the children. He has to save them up. The next day he tried to form a rescue party from among the men of the village. None of them would help him capture the wolf children. They still believed that the creatures were evil spirits. So what we come to know, that Mr. Singh was the only man who believed that they were not demons. They were actually humans. So it took a little time that people were not believing in him. He was the only one believing that the children were, the demons were the children. So nobody was ready to help him. But still he formed a rescue party from among the men of the village. He convinced some of the people from the village, and they were believing that the creatures were evil spirits. तो उन्होंने क्या सोचा कि मैं जाके उन बच्चों को बचाऊंगा, और कोई भी उनका साथ देने के तैयार नहीं था, लेकिन फिर भी उन्होंने गांव में से कुछ लोगों को बुलाया कि तुमने मेरे साथ चलना है. एक टीम तरतीब दी कि हम इन बच्चों को बचाएंगे. मिस्टर सिंह वाज फोर्स्ड टू सीक हेल्प फ्रॉम अनदर विलेज. वो मजबूर थे इस बात पे कि दूसरे किसी गांव से भी मदद तलब करें. 7 miles अवे, जो कि 7 मील दूर था. अ वीक लेटर द हंटिंग पार्टी एडवांस्ड ऑन द लेयर. वहां से लोगों ने इनकी मदद की. तकरीबन 1 हफ्ते के बाद ये लोग वहां पर उस लेयर के पास गए, उस जगह पर गए जहां पर वो बच्चे उनको मिले थे. एज दे नियर द एंट हिल दे सेपरेट आउट इन अ सर्कल. जैसे ही वो उस एंट हिल के करीब पहुंचे, वो स्कैटर्ड हो गए, फैल गए एक सर्कल में. दे मूव्ड कॉशियसली, बहुत एहतियात के साथ आगे बढ़ रहे थे. बीटिंग द ग्राउंड इन फ्रंट ऑफ देम, जो उनके नीचे जमीन थी, मतलब कि कोई आवाज पैदा ना हो. द एडवांस फ्राइटेंड मेनी स्मॉलर एनिमल्स इनटू द ओपन, बट नो वुल्व्स अपीयर्ड. तो जिस तरह से ये लोग आगे बढ़ रहे थे, तो बीच में जितने छोटे छोटे जानवर आ रहे थे वो सब डर के इधर उधर भाग रहे थे, लेकिन अभी तक कोई वुल्फ अपीयर नहीं हुआ था, आगे नहीं आया था. मिस्टर सिंह मूव टूवर्ड्स द माउंट. He ordered 2 men to start digging at the entrance. They began to hack the ground nervously. Mr. Singh assured them there was no demons, but this was little comfort. They knew well enough that there were wolves inside. At any moment they expected an angry wolf to emerge. तो जी भाई क्या हुआ यहाँ पर? मिस्टर सिंह जो है वो एक छोटी सी पहाड़ी के पास चले गए और उन्होंने 2 आदमियों से कहा कि जमीन को खोदना शुरू करो. ठीक है. और उसके बाद फिर जहां पर वो एंट हिल था उसकी एंट्रेंस पर ही जमीन को खोदना शुरू किया गया. तो वो बहुत ही घबराए हुए जमीन को खोदने लग गए. मिस्टर सिंह ने उनको यकीन दिलाया कि भाई कोई डेमन्स नहीं है, कोई भूत प्रेत नहीं है, कोई और मखलूकात नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी वहां पर थोड़ी सी बेचैनी थी. ठीक है. ان کو اچھی طرح پتا تھا کہ یہاں پر ولفز جو ہے وہ اندر ہیں، تو اس لیے بھی تھوڑی سی گھبراہٹ تھی کہ کسی بھی وقت کوئی غصے میں یہاں سے بھیڑیا باہر آ سکتا ہے. Then a wolf did spring out of the lair. اچانک سے ایک ولف جو تھا وہ باہر آ گیا. The digger jumped back as it ran off into the thick undergrowth. تو اچانک سے جو ہے وہ جب باہر نکلا تو جو کھدائی کر رہا تھا وہ ایک طرف کی کو جو ہے وہ لپکا، اور جو ولف تھا وہ آگے کی طرف جا کے چھپ گیا. Nobody tried to stop its escape. کسی نے اس کو روکنے کی کوشش نہیں کی. In fact, some of the men, frightened at the sudden appearance of the animal, began to run away. البتہ کچھ لوگ اچانک اس کے نکلنے کی وجہ سے ادھر ادھر بھاگنے لگے. Mr. Singh began to shout at the fleeing man but stopped as another wolf emerged. مسٹر سنگھ نے لوگوں کو بلایا جو بھاگ رہے تھے، لیکن وہ خاموش ہو گئے جیسے ہی ایک دوسرا بھیڑیا بھی اس کیف میں سے باہر نکلا، غار میں سے باہر آیا. This was the she wolf courageously trying to defend her young. یہ جو تھی فیمیل ولف تھی اور بہت ہی بہادری کے ساتھ اپنے بچوں کو بچانے کی کوشش کری تھی. She arched her back and bared her teeth. اس نے اپنی جو پیٹھ تھی اس کو، جیسے ہم بینڈ کر دیتے ہیں اپنی بیک کو تاکہ جو ہے وہ اپنے نیچے اگر کوئی ہے ہمارے تو اس کو ڈیفینڈ کیا جا سکے، بچایا جا سکے. تو یہاں پر اس نے بھی یہی کیا کہ اپنی پیٹھ کو اس طرح سے آرچ کر لیا، بینڈ کر لیا کہ جو ہے وہ اس کے بچوں کو کوئی نقصان نہ پہنچے، اور اپنے دانت نکالنے لگی. بٹ بفور مسٹر سنگھ could give any order, some of the men shot several arrows at her. اس سے پہلے کہ مسٹر سنگھ کوئی آرڈر دیتے، کچھ منع کرتے، کچھ کہتے، جو کچھ وہاں پر لوگ تھے انہوں نے فوراً ہی تیروں کی اس کے اوپر بوچھاڑ کر دی. مسٹر سنگھ واچ دی اینیمل رول اوور ان ایگنی. مسٹر سنگھ نے دیکھا کہ جو ہے وہ بہت ہی تکلیف کے ساتھ رول ہونے لگی، جو ہے وہ لوٹ پوٹ ہونے لگی. He felt bitter and angry with himself. He had not intended to kill any of the wolves. Now he snatched up the spade and dug furiously into the ant hill. ان کو بہت ہی غصہ آیا، بہت ہی دکھ ہوا اپنے اوپر. وہ کسی بھی جانور کو مارنا نہیں چاہتے تھے، تو یعنی کسی بھی بھیڑیے کو نہیں مارنا چاہتے تھے. انہوں نے پھر جلدی سے چھپٹا مارتے ہوئے ایک اسپیڈ اپنے ہاتھ میں لیا، ایک کلہاڑ، اس کو کہتے ہیں بیلچا، اپنے ہاتھ میں لیا، اور جلدی 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 اینٹ ہل کو جو ہے وہ ڈگ کرنے لگے، یعنی اس کو کھودنے لگے. His digging revealed a pathetic sight. جب انہوں نے جو ہے وہ اس کو ڈگنگ کی اور جب کھود کے اندر کی طرف دیکھا تو ایک وہاں پر بہت ہی زیادہ عجیب و غریب سی بڑی دکھ بھری ان کو وہاں پہ دکھ بھرا نظارہ نظر آیا. 4 trembling creatures lay in a ball of fur and hair. 4 طرح کی مخلوقات وہاں پر تھیں اور ایک بال بنی ہوئی تھی بالوں کی اور فرز کی. The ball was made up of 2 wolf cubs and 2 little girls. 2 بچیاں تھیں چھوٹی چھوٹی اور 2 بھیڑیے کے بچے تھے. As they told us earlier کہ جب یہ پہلی بار آئے تھے یہ لوگ یہاں پر 6 لوگ، تو انہوں نے وہاں پر 6 ہی کریچرز نکلتے ہوئے دیکھی تھی. 2 wolves تھے، 2 ان کے بچے تھے اور 2 little demons تھے، یعنی 2 little human تھے. Mr. Singh had never seen children like this before. مسٹر سنگھ نے اس سے پہلے بچوں کو کبھی اس طرح نہیں دیکھا تھا. They were almost unrecognizable as human beings. وہ تقریباً ان کو پہچاننا ناممکن تھا کہ یہ انسان ہی ہیں یا کچھ اور ہیں. They snarled and bit his hand as he tried to separate them from the cubs. تو کیونکہ ان کے اندر کوئی انسانوں والی خصلت اس وقت نہیں تھی، جانوروں کے ساتھ وہ رہ رہے تھے، تو انہوں نے بھی اپنے دانت دکھائے جیسے کہ اس ولف نے دکھائے تھے، شی ولف نے، اور یہاں تک کہ اس نے مسٹر سنگھ کو جو ہے وہ ہاتھ پر کاٹ لیا جب انہوں نے اس کو بھیڑیے کے بچوں سے الگ کرنے کی کوشش کی. So this was the mystery of the demons, that they were actually girls, small little girls. Let's discuss some of the word meanings over here. Mound is a heap or a hill. The steep. Hack means to chop, to cut. کسی چیز کو اپنے قابو میں کرنا. Spring out, to get out of bed, to awake, جاگ جانا. Escape, run away, بھاگ جانا. Fleeing مانے بھی run away, بھاگ جانا. Courageously means bravely, بہادری کے ساتھ. Defend, safeguard کرنا, بچانا. Arched, curved, bowed, جو ہے وہ bend کر لینا. Bared means to uncover, expose, کسی چیز کو expose کرنا. Roll over means surrender, جو ہے وہ ہتھیار ڈال دینا. Agony means pain, hurt, suffering, تکلیف. Snatched up, grasp hastily, جلدی سے اپنے قابو میں کرنا. Intended, planned, purposefully, جان بوجھ کر. furiously, angrily, revealed, disclosed, display, कोई चीज जाहिर हो जाना. Pathetic means pitiful, miserable, बहुत ही दर्दनाक. Trembling means shaking, हाथों का कपकपाना. Snarl means to show his teeth. Bit means chew, to cut with teeth. So here our story has come to an end. I hope students you would like it. Thanks for watching the video. And now if you are new, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends. Take care. Allah Hafiz.